Hey everyone, so it's been a while since I made a video on the LG dishwasher, which I fixed, and which was because of the burnt wire. Now, we're back with another LG product which broke, and this is my fridge. And I'm going to show you some steps that I use to try to see what the problem is. The thing is, sometimes you can't really fix this yourself, so you might have to get somebody else to do it. But I'm going to show you what you need to do. So first of all, we're going to go towards the back panel. All right, so this is the LG fridge back panel. And right here, there is a button there, right? I mean, there's a button right here. I'm not sure if you can see it right there, this one, right? You see, that button allows you to test the compressor as well as the fan in your fridge. You should press it to see, and then open your fridge to see if your fridge is, I guess, if the fans are working, right? If you see air going through the front and I guess the fridge and the freezer, then I guess the fans are good. All right, that's one thing you should press. The first time, I think it's the compressor and the fans, and then this, when you press it a second time, I think it is for the dampener. All right, so let's go through the front. All right, depending on your fridge, there may be a different, thing that happens, but essentially when you press it, right, what happens is you should like feel the air holes and see if there is something like coming out, like a fan or air coming out, right? So this is the fridge part on mine. And for me, it was working, right? Everything was basically working. And this is the fridge section. And you should be able to feel something in there, right? Now, if nothing is moving, I think your fan is broken, all right? And that is a problem. Now, that is one of the things you could do, which is aligned with the PCB, which is the board in the back. Now, second thing you should check, right, after that is going to be a bit hard. This one, I had to, all right, so the second one is a bit hard. That thing over there, you take a screwdriver and you nudge it and it should come out. Depending on your model, it might be a bit different. And then you need something to basically go into the holes and pull the top part out. And it is difficult to do. I mean, I had the guy come in and he took a very long time trying to pull it out. And once you pull it out, it should look like this.
All right, so as you open this, right, you will notice that there is wires hanging and you got to pull these things out. These are like the computer things, so you got to press on it and stuff like that to take it off, right? Don't just pull it. Once if you pull it too much, it might break. So you got to do this slowly. So on both sides, there should be wires. On the right side where we just took out the thing with the screwdriver, that is actually the temperature sensor. And you got to remove the wires, and it's just plug and play like any computer stuff nowadays. So once you get everything off, this is what it looks like. All right. Now, if there is still ice in there, what you want to do is leave it and let it, how should I say it? Let it sit and let the ice thaw and let it melt. All right. You want to let it melt. Then after you let it melt, right? If it still doesn't work, after you plug in everything, of course, then you might want to check out the next section or the next thing. And then, we'll talk a bit more. But the other ones, I mean, these things you can do, right? The next ones, if you start doing them and it doesn't work, it means you're pretty much going to have to replace something much more. You even get somebody else to replace it. But here is the fan. So the panel you took off, right? Behind the panel should be the fan. And if that doesn't work, and you might want to test that with a multimeter if you have one. If not, just plug the entire thing in. And again, when you were on the PCB, right, the back panel, and you press the button, you should have felt something. If the fan was working, if there was air flowing, that means this is working. This is completely fine. So even though you pulled it out, you don't really need to test any further. This thing is completely fine. Now you want to move on to the next one if that doesn't work.
All right, so the next thing you want to do is remove this thing and all the screws, and you will have something that looks like this.
All right, so we're here with the back, and it's open, right? So what you want to check is the coils to see if they are 30, right? If it's like dusty and things like that, do not waste your time trying to get what do you call it that I got? It was a dust buster or something, right? For the computer. It doesn't work. You got to use a toothbrush or some sort of brush that goes in there and basically like removes the dirt that is stuck in there. And there's a fan on the right side of it or on the left side depending on your freezer or refrigerator. And you got to use the brush to remove it. And if there's nothing on there, like mine, right? I mean, I did remove it. I had a bit of dust, but for the most part, mine was okay, right? If that is done and your refrigerator is still not starting, you have a bigger problem, a much bigger problem. Unfortunately, there's nothing you could do about this problem, and this is the compressor. And most of the compressors are under warranty, wink, wink, because the thing is, the compressor is under warranty, right? But the labor is not. And the labor could cost up to $1,000 and over, depending on when you're doing it. I mean, if inflation nowadays, it could easily go to 2,000. So, LG has been selling compressors that would break within 5 years. So most likely your refrigerator, if it's going to break, is because of the compressor. And I had mine replaced, right? I was complaining to LG saying, what the hell, you have a action lawsuit and stuff like that. And then I called in a couple of times. I was talking to a manager. They finally gave me a price that I thought it was okay, which is about $400. But when I added the diagnostic, which I did a much better job than the person coming in to do. If you add in the diagnostic, right, it's about $500, $600 total, which is unfortunate, but it's better than nothing, right? So, anyways, for this compressor, you see, the thing is, you can't remove it yourself. Even if you knew how to do welding jobs, removing, replacing compressors, I saw the guy do it, right? It didn't seem that hard as long as you had the flames and stuff going. The thing is, they need to update the PCB, which means the computer board in the back I was showing you. He stuck something into the thing, into PCB, and then they updated it so that they can use the brand new compressor. If not, you can't use it. So, they did something there, and even if you could replace your compressor, it wouldn't work because you need the PCB to be updated as well, right? So, it's unfortunate, but you're going to have to get a technician to do this, right? And it could cost you over $1,000 depending on when you do it. With inflation, they could easily go to 2,000. So it's pretty bad, right? I mean, I just replaced this. Like I said, they charged me about $500 or $400 total with diagnostics, and one of the reason why is because I was complaining to LG and stuff like that because they had a class action lawsuit, and it shouldn't have been broken, but it's broken. So there's nothing you could do. If you've done the first three things and it didn't work and your refrigerator still isn't cooling, then it's most likely your compressor. And this compressor is just a headache, right? I mean, it cost me a lot of money, cost me a lot of time, it cost me a lot of frustration. So this black thing over here needs to be replaced, and there's literally nothing you could do about it. You could try to replace it, but like I was saying, on my computer, I mean on my door panel um of my refrigerator now sticks a sticker that says your PCB has been updated to use this compressor. So, there it is, right? I mean, yes, your compressor is under warranty, but the labor is not. So you got to figure out what you want to do, right? And if your fridge breaks down early, then it's probably better than later because then you could still get a cheaper price. If not, replace the entire thing because with inflation, it can get a lot more expensive. And that's a very bad thing. But, anyways, I did everything I can. Try the first three things. If it doesn't work, it's most likely this thing. And like I was saying, if you have a fridge like mine, which is sort of a smart fridge, not exactly, it doesn't even have Wi Fi, but I don't know if your fridge requires an update to PCB. So, anyways, that's all I got. I think that's pretty much it. If your fridge isn't cooling, those are the reasons. I don't think anything else. If you think about anything, you could always leave the comment in the comment section below and we'll discuss it a bit more.